want to start by asking how many of you heard the story or saw this 2-page spread in the Wall Street Journal a few weeks ago about the Business Roundtable, 200 CEOs who signed a proclamation stating that maybe there's more to business than just shareholder return. Maybe employees matter. Maybe their communities matter. Maybe there are issues in society that matter. I can't tell you how many people forwarded that story to me saying, "Oh, Pam, this is going to be great for your consulting business." Excuse me while I roll my eyes. Here's why I'm pessimistic. My analogy to that story is take a room of 200 people, overweight, some even obese, all very happy with the lifestyle decisions that got them to that condition, fat and sassy. And they sign a declaration that says, you know what, proper nutrition, portion control, and exercise leads to better health. Yay! How many do you think are going to be healthier a year from now for having signed that declaration? That's not the hard part. Signing that declaration is not the hard part. The hard part is going to be changing the behavior of some of these companies. Each and every one of you in this room is involved, either directly or indirectly, with engaging outside legal services. Each and every one of us in this room has the power to affect change in a way that those companies are going to try to affect change. Imagine, oh, I better advance my slide. Imagine using your job, discerning the best law firms to serve your company as a way to demand more than just good legal services. Next time, imagine, as you're reading through the proposals from law firms, how to look for more than just skills and expertise. Obviously, that's the threshold. But once you get the firms that will meet your legal needs, what other criteria, what other attributes could you be looking at, should you be looking at, that would affect a greater change? How could we be catalysts for change? You are a very important stakeholder in these law firms. Your voice is louder than any single partner. Your yes or your no can change the behavior of a law firm. And as you know, and as we've heard about all morning, changing the behavior in a law firm is not easy. My current position at Milliman, a brand new officer level role, is a consequence of a decision made by someone just like you, one of the firm's clients, about 3 years ago. Milliman is a global actuarial consulting firm structured much like a law firm. We are $1 billion in revenue, 70 offices around the world. When it came time to renew the contract for this particular client, something we thought was a formality, Milliman was eliminated from the process. I saw the score sheet. We did really well on every category except the section that dealt with social responsibility, sustainability, and overall social impact. Our scores sucked. Our scores dragged down our total score so far that we didn't even meet the thresholds to make it to round 2. So that's when I moved from being Chief Marketing Officer to a brand new role called Chief Global Social Impact Officer. And as I think about this role, I realize that it is really the culmination of my entire career. I studied international relations in undergrad, got a master's in communications management, served 30 years in professional service firm as chief marketing officer, first in law firms and then at Milliman. And then when Milliman asked me to take this role, I went back and got another graduate degree in social responsibility and sustainability. All along my career, I was collecting the puzzle pieces for this role. This role didn't exist when I started my career, but it is a role that is sorely needed in society today. Like almost all professional service firms, Milliman was doing all the right stuff. We just weren't tracking it, we weren't measuring it, we weren't scaling it, we weren't celebrating it. But this client was much further advanced in the social impact and sustainability space than we were. This client expected all of their suppliers, everyone in their supply chain, to be as committed to social impact and sustainability as they were. Why is that? Since Milliman is a global actuarial firm, most of our clients are global and multinational insurance and reinsurance and financial institution companies. When you think about it, that industry is the industry that's already writing the checks for the implications of things like climate change, right? They're already feeling the financial pressure. They want to make sure they're doing business with people who care and are doing something to fix those societal problems. We weren't at the time. So whether you're with procurement, whether you're part of the GC's office, or whether you're making legal buying decisions at the business unit level, there are some steps you can take to evaluate your outside law firms with respect to their social impact. I will lay out a 3-step simple process, things you should look at in your law firms to gauge how serious they are about their social impact. The first thing is ask the right questions. Simple yes/no questions are no longer sufficient. You have to ask, what are they doing? Who's in charge? How are they measuring? What are their outcomes, not just their outputs? So this is an example of a questionnaire we got from a client a number of years ago, and I really like to use this one because it asks very specific questions. Have you read our Code of Ethical and Environmental Code of Conduct? Do you have a sustainability policy, and if so, please provide it? Do you have a sustainability code for your suppliers? The answer to this one for Milliman, by the way, is no, and we still get graded really low because we don't have any supplier sustainability code of conduct yet. And then my favorite one is, who's in charge of your social impact and sustainability program? And it goes on to say, don't tell me it's your CEO, because that tells me you're not taking this seriously. You have to have somebody who's in charge of it. Secondly, assess the law firm's company and culture. Is CSR part of who they are, or is it just something they do on the side over here through a little volunteer committee or a green team? How do you tell? You can tell a lot by looking at a company's website, a law firm's website. Do they have a cohesive strategy around CSR? Where is it presented on their website? Is it front and center, or is it buried under careers? If it's buried under careers, that's telling, isn't it? That means they're doing it because they think they need to do it for recruiting, but not because it's core to their business. Here's another telling thing on websites. Is their pro bono, their diversity and inclusion, and their community investment discussed in 3 totally disparate, non-related areas of the website, all listing completely different random acts of kindness or random initiatives? That's very telling. Is their CSR something that they do, or is it part of who they are? Most firms do not think of CSR as part of their business strategy. How do I know that? This bar chart is courtesy of a company out of Madrid, Spain called CO2 Consulting, and they just imagined a fictitious law firm with 500 employees and offices in 5 countries. And based on their institutional and industry knowledge, they took a guess at what the carbon footprint of that law firm would look like. The biggest contributor to law firms' carbon footprint is air travel. And yet you look at their websites, and what are they talking about? Oh, we recycle paper. Woohoo, we double-side copy, right? Nobody is addressing the elephant in the room. And if the law firms in the room want to correct me on this, I'd be happy to be corrected. I don't know of any law firms that are addressing air travel. And that's the biggest carbon footprint. So quickly, I'm going to run through the rest. External engagement, here's another thing you can check on. On the law firm's website, who are they engaging with? Who are they collaborating with? Are they members of their client industry bodies that are affecting and addressing sustainability? If not, why not? The bigger question, Are they a member of their own industry body that is addressing sustainability? In the United States, it's Law Firm Sustainability Network. How many of you are familiar with this? United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Many of your clients are probably members. If you're a law firm, many of your clients are members. If you don't know if your clients are members, see me in the break. I can tell you how to find out. But this is what's driving some of it. Because if you are a member of the UN Global Compact, you commit to supporting progress towards these goals. And one of them is partnership for the goals. The underlying information behind that target is you agree to do business with other companies who are committed to making progress on these goals. That's where some of this pressure is coming from. They're checking out who are they doing business with and are they as committed as we are. So what does a really good social impact program look like? What does transformational look like? Transformational is when you get to the stage where it's collaborative, core to your business, and consistent with your purpose. It is not putting hammers in the hands of actuaries to go build a Habitat for Humanity house. That is not the highest and best use of actuarial skills and talents. Pulling weeds in a park on a Saturday is not the best and highest use of the skills and talents of lawyers. Bring your best self to your social impact programs and make a difference that others can't make. Quick example at Milliman. This is our firm's mission statement, but it also serves as our social impact program statement. And we have 3 components to our social impact program: our work, our people, and our world. Under our world is where falls what most people think of when they think of social impact: recycling, volunteering, writing a check. Our people, diversity and inclusion, mentorship programs, leadership academies, Milliman University, all the things you do to grow your people. And finally, our work is everything we do for clients, not just pro bono, but the work you do for clients that have a social impact. And I'm going to breeze through the rest here, I hope. One good example of a law firm that's doing great stuff, Nixon Peabody, has a program where they collaborated with 2 solar panel clients, 2 real estate development clients, and the District of Columbia. They put solar panels on the rooftops of the buildings owned by those real estate developers, and all the electricity being generated is going to the low-income housing of the District of Columbia. Not all of that was pro bono. And it has become such a popular story that they are now doing it, solar panels on top of elementary schools and park pavilions as well. It's paying work, but it's social impact. So you as buyers of legal services have an opportunity to make a difference. This is where you have to imagine the song Imagine, because I didn't want to run into copyright infringement in front of a bunch of lawyers. Rolling Stone ranked this as the #3 song of the top 500 songs of all time. And they went on to say, this is 22 lines of graceful, plain-spoken faith in the power of the world, united in purpose, to change and repair itself. Gina Passarella wrote in her column earlier this week, the legal profession is a massive economic engine employing hundreds of thousands of people and driving the business of every other industry in the world. It is important to the fabric of our society. So if not us, who? Who are we waiting for to address some of these societal challenges? Barack Obama says, change will come not if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Now, I'm not the only one who thinks this. Procurement has the power of the purse. You can affect change in your company and in the sphere of influence that you enjoy. After all, what's the worst thing that could happen if we try? Thank you.